I am honored to attend the handover ceremony of the Temporary Protection Center. And today is a memorial day of World Refugee Day. I came to this wonderful city of Arua, but at the same time I noticed that this is a kind of a frontline city, very close to the country border with DRC and Sudan and others. We are facing not a single but multifaceted challenges just in front of us. People may ask why Japan is assisting Save the Children. We are far away, and very few people in Japan knows Arua, to be frank. But the problems facing the young children's problems and difficulty is in essence the same problem that Japanese society is now facing. So this is why we are extending the help to this city and this community to find out together what's the solution, what's the best approach, what best we can do to the best of the future of our precious treasure, our children. Today I'm happy to see this local community, all the stakeholders, NGOs, Save the Children, some other NGOs, police, judiciary, the ministry from Kampala, local government, the city, all the stakeholders are here. I felt very strong ownership. Now I think we will soon have a ceremony of handing over the new temporary center. But without your help and without your commitment, this building will be nothing. It all depends on your effort, our effort, all strengths together to give life to this facility. So I'm looking forward to the future use and the help and the good future for the young ones in this region. So help us, God.
The district and the people of Arua to celebrate this achievement, the successful construction of the reception center and now its handover. This has been made possible with the funding from the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. On behalf of Save the Children, I would like to express our sincere appreciation to the Government of Uganda, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Arua City and Arua District local governments for the collaboration and support rendered towards spearheading the implementation of child protection programs within Arua and the entire country. The Child Protection System Strengthening Project is well aligned with the Government of Uganda's priorities on child protection under the National Child Policy 2020, the National Development Plan 3 and the Sustainable Development Goal. This includes the Pillar 16.2 to end abuse, exploitation and all forms of violence and torture against children, and is strongly focused on strengthening the different components of the child protection system. This project aims to strengthen the child protection system in Arua district and Arua city, focusing on improving access to quality child protection services, strengthening local child protection measures, and improving social welfare services. Over the past year, we've achieved significant milestones, including the below. To list a few: deployment of 13 social welfare officers across 13 sub-counties in Arua, supported by the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and the local governments. The social welfare officers are vital for providing direct, timely support to children in need and their families. Donated 13 motorbikes to facilitate the movement of social welfare officers, allowing them to reach more children. In collaboration with the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, trained 202 para-social workers across 3 sub-counties of Arua district, donated 103 bicycles to Arua district to support the work of para-social workers within their communities. Partnered with the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to disseminate the National Child Policy 2020 at the district and city levels, ensuring everyone understands child protection framework and supported the functionality of related child well-being committees at the sub-county and district levels. In collaboration with the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, build the capacity of key child protection actors, including government officials, on child protection concepts, legal framework, and alternative care options. Support to meaningful coordination. We conducted service mapping and created a service provider inventory to streamline child protection service delivery and further support to the Community Development Office to coordinate activities of technical child protection actors. Together with these, we are particularly proud of the Child Protection Reception Center, constructed with the support of the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs. This is a facility for children who are survivors of abuse and in need of temporary care and protection as the government seeks to permanent solutions for the children. The Child Protection Reception Center will serve as a regional reception center, serving all categories of children in need of special protection within Arua City, Arua District and the neighboring districts. The facility comes with a separate room for boys, girls and adults. This includes chaperone staff, a common room for children to interact, an office space and a store, 3 stanzas of drainable latrine, and 1 unit of 3 bathrooms for boys, girls and adults. We are grateful to the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the support, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development and local governments for their commitment, and other development partners for their expressed interest in supporting this center. We at Save the Children believe that by working together, we can create a future where every child in Arua feels safe and protected. Save the Children commends the Uganda government for its initiatives in serving children and communities. It is our hope that this reception center will enhance the role of the local government in providing special protection and care for children faced with heightened risk of harm and abuse. Save the Children commits to continue working with government and other partners to address child protection gaps and ensure children are protected from harm. Together, let's champion a future where all children in Arua are protected. Thank you.
I'm too really very, very honored and very glad to participate in this handover today. I think we all learned now, you have been aware for a longer time than me, that a reception center is really crucial for the child protection activities in Arua. Also, I can't say really I'm grateful because I'm not from Arua, but this was constructed through Save the Children with funding from the Japanese government, which is a tremendous effort. And then some of the furnishing that's going to be in there and the equipment is funded by the EU and the German government through the Better Migration Management Program. But I do hear there are many other partners who are committed to put some equipment and furniture in the shelter, so this is really, really great. Let me just summarize some facts about the Better Migration Management Program. So it's a regional multi-year program we are implementing in 6 countries in the Horn of Africa and is funded by the European Union and the German government. And with the BMM or through the BMM program, Germany and the EU are supporting national partners to facilitate safe, orderly and regular migration based on a human rights-based approach. So we are targeting specifically human trafficking and smuggling in migrants. BMM is implemented in a partnership. So it's GIZ, this is my organization as a coordinating agency, but we also implement this British Council, IOM, UNODC, and CVPO. So you may have experienced some of the cooperation with the other agencies too, many of which are here in Arua. Yeah, but trafficking doesn't only happen like cross-border when you are traveling through irregular channels, but it's also happening internally. And I think soon the colleagues from Ministry of Internal Affairs can say more. So we are quite glad that with this reception center, which I think will benefit like all kinds of vulnerable children, that with that there is also a safe space and a facility for victims of trafficking and vulnerable migrant children. Yeah, I would like to highlight that the support here, which is really just the support or small equipment support from our side, that it's embedded in a bigger program. So we support Gov'T to regularly engage in Arua, to meet bilaterally with the police and other officials, and to also do awareness raising in districts. We also have activities with IOM in Arua, for example, when it comes to certain training and referral mechanisms of vulnerable migrants.
I want to affirm that Your Excellency, Save the Children Fund is a very, very organized pattern, as someone said, in regard to self-accountability and generally self-efficacy in service delivery. In that regard, I would like to request in a special way the area manager for Save the Children Fund stand up for recognition for a job well done. The district and state leaders, both political and technical, have mentioned many things, and I agree with them. So I will not repeat what they have said in regard to the legal and policy frameworks, the laws in regard to child care and protection as provided for under the Local Government Act as amended, OCAP 243, especially Schedule 2. So we are grateful as a country for the continued support of the Japanese government in regard to fostering child care and protection, not only here in the region, but in other parts of the country. And also want to thank all the partners here, GIZ, and those mentioned as per what is even written on the list before all of us here, that you have really, really supported the government. When you look at internalize the NGO Act 2016, you see a strong partnership between the NGOs, both national and international, and the government of Uganda in regard to implementation of our legal and policy frameworks. One of the speakers spoke about issues of children in the National Development Plan 3 and the development SDGs. It's true. And as I talk, on Thursday, we shall be having a dialogue on social protection, how best we can have shock responsive social protection for Uganda. And Your Excellency, we support from partners, notably World Food Program, UNICEF, UNHCR. The Ministry of Gender is taking lead on drafting the first ever national integrated social protection program for Uganda. And we are building on the successes registered by the local governments in the in this Western Nile region during the implementation of NutriCash and Dr. Deep. So Western Nile, thank yourselves by clapping that you have made it, and what has been tested here is to be replicated in other parts of the country. Our main function here today is to receive the reception center, and I agree with the regional police commander, his worship, juvenile justice has been and still remains a big challenge to us. We have 7 remand homes. The Arua remand home serves this region, is nearby. And I also followed keenly during my interface with Save the Children Fund in regard to construction of this center. And I really want to affirm that the contractor has done a good job. But we are going to construct a youth skilling center in the Busoga region. We are going to rehabilitate Judicial National Rehabilitation Center, Fort Portal Remand Home. Those are huge contracts. We celebrated the Day of the African Child on Sunday, that was 16th, and it was a continental Day of the African Child. We had children and other adults representing more than 7 or 9 countries. And on 18th, we are in Invepo resettlement. And there we saw 19 partners also coming together. So our guest of honor, we are running from the global partnerships. We are here thanking you for this reception center. But as the resident state commissioner mentioned, there are many things the Japanese government has done for Uganda. And in our culture, they say, where you get a king is where you kneel and what? And ask in order to be supported. He has talked of the Lord. I want to tell or share with you that those who have been to Jinja, that suspension bridge was constructed by the government of Japan. We give them another clap. And we have heard that likely Japan government may support or completely support the construction of the Karuma Bridge. For those who know that bridge, it has aged, and we are told the feasibility study is being undertaken by UNRA, and the name of Japanese government has come on board. So, Your Excellency, we are here to thank you, not only for this day, but on the behalf of the entire government of Uganda, for the bigger things you have supported us, especially through the JICA or JICA. That's how we pronounce. Sometimes pronunciation is different. And the RCC has said this area is good for many economic activities, but they have a challenge sometimes of water. Stop top irrigation. We are not shying away from sharing with you the challenges we have as a country. For me, I will be a bit skewed towards my youth. We have a challenge of youth, but the most touching that 80% of prisoners in our government prisons, I happen to be a member of the National Community Service, 80% they are youth. And they end up committing crimes because they are suffering from unemployment and underemployment. So if we could get support in regard to skilling, especially the youth out of school, even skilling the youth who are out of school, who are in school, who have completed school, to get skills, what we call productive or employable skills from the Japanese government, would still say asante sana. Having said that, we are eager to receive our reception, but as a ministry, I said it to Save the Children, and I think some representative of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, when I last visited, construction was still going on, that we need to sit down and have an interface and agree on how we synergize the relationship between the reception and the remand home. So that when we get food there, and there is a short supply of food here for the reception, we can come in and give food in kind, not in cash, so that we sustain our reception center. It has to be operationalized, but sustainability also is not easy in regard to funding. The districts around will be excited, but in regard to managing regional facilities, sometimes not all local entities come to the hosting entity to sustain such a facility which supports all. But as a ministry, we shall come in support.
And he appreciates all the efforts that have been portrayed by the government of Japan in funding and assisting setting up this reception center. the efforts that are being laid on ground are being had at the ministry headquarters. They don't only stay here in Arua. So on behalf of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, we are so glad and privileged for that initiative in an effort and in the fight to save the children. The Ministry of Internal Affairs furthermore welcomes everybody on this special function for opening and the handover of the newly constructed reception center. In particular, the Coordination Office for Prevention of Trafficking Persons wishes to extend its special thanks to the Save the Children for constructing and bringing up this initiative so that the children in this region can be safe. Furthermore, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, particularly that's the Coordination Office for Prevention of Trafficking Persons. For starters, the Coordination Office for Prevention of Trafficking Persons is an office that was designated by the Ministry of Internal Affairs, mandated by the law, the Trafficking Persons Act, to create this office to help in combating trafficking in persons. When we talk about saving the children, most of the children end up being victims of trafficking in persons. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Internal Affairs sends a special thanks to Save the Children for that effort. Furthermore, the Ministry of Internal Affairs wishes to thank in a special way the GIZ for moving a mile and acquiring equipments that have been installed in that reception center. So please, GIZ, your efforts are being appreciated, and please go ahead to assist and support in this cause. Ladies and gentlemen, the Trafficking Persons Act sought to address 4 P's. The 4 P's include prevention, protection, prosecution, and partnership. And today we are witnessing the aspect of the 4 P's, which is partnership.
As the Chief Magistrate and representative of the Judicial, we are grateful for the cooperation and the efforts that the Japanese government has used to have these centers placed, especially now in Arua. We are grateful that you, together with the other development partners, have ensured that this facility is brought to this part of the region, which definitely has been needed, and it will go a long way in helping to do justice for these children. As judiciary, our mission is justice for all. In our duty, we handle various cases, and I would like to report to you, Your Excellency, that as we are speaking right now, the resident judge of Arua is actually still handling a session to do with children. And on a daily basis, I handle cases relating to children, either those who are trafficked or those against whom offenses are committed. And really, such interventions that you bring to such places is welcome. I also want to thank the political leaders, both in the city and in the district, for welcoming you, Your Excellency, and allowing, together with the RPC, to have this facility placed here. That really shows a lot of cooperation, and as judiciary, all we strive for is cooperation between and amongst everyone, because that's the only way we can achieve a lot.
The government of Uganda believes so much in the rule of law. Our 1995 constitution, as amended, has got the entire chapter 4 dedicated to the rights especially Article 33, 34, 35, talks about children's rights, protection of children's rights. And we have got a number of legal frameworks that defend the rights of children. So when the government of Japan, others can choose to call it Japan, here in Arua we enjoy calling it Japan. When the government of Japan injects funds through Save the Children International to come and put up a facility of this nature, you are actually complementing the roles that the government of Uganda is already playing. And for that matter, we are really so grateful and we thank you for that.
I want to register our appreciation to the government of Japan for the interventions in the areas of education, in health, even in construction of roads, and many other areas, and agriculture as well. We don't take it lightly, and we pledge that we will continue to push forward this cordial relationship that has existed. Uganda is one of the biggest markets of Japan. For your information, we use over 95% of the motor vehicles you see on the road. They come from Japan. And when you do this, we appreciate, because it is a sign that you do appreciate our potential as the market. Your Excellence, today you are handing over a facility that has been fully funded by your government. If funds allow, Your Excellency, we are weak in the area of horticulture, and yet this is an area, a virgin area, which would push our youth and our population to come out of poverty. Japan is good in fish farming. If you could also extend that to us, would appreciate Your Excellency.